Hello and welcome to another edition of Soap Goes to the Oscars. This is number 156. I am recording on March 6th, 2026, and I watched the movie this morning. And that movie was The Bishop's Wife. This is the second movie from the 1947 nominees that I'm watching. This one was available on Amazon Prime. So, once again, no cost to me, no extra cost. Which now with the last movie also brings my total per movie overall for all 156 movies to $2 a movie, which I think is pretty swell. The last four Oscars ceremony, well, this one, partially, but from 1944 on, I haven't had to pay for anything. And for the 1940s overall so far, it's 73 cents a movie. I like it. And you can probably hear my voice is still raspy. This was recorded immediately after the one for Great Expectations, so my voice hasn't really changed. And that said, I will also keep this one kind of short because of the hour and my voice. So, The Bishop's Wife is a 1947 American Christmas romantic fantasy comedy film directed by Henry Koster, starring Cary Grant, Loretta Young, and David Niven. Plot is about an angel who helps a bishop with his problems. The film was adapted by Leonardo Brockovich and Robert E. Sherwood from the 1928 novel of the same name by Robert Nathan. It was remade in 1996 as The Preacher's Wife, starring Denzel Washington, Whitney Houston, and Courtney B. Vance. I have seen that one too. So this says on the side here under screenplay, says Leonardo Brockovich, Robert E. Sherwood, Billy Wilder uncredited, and Charles Brackett uncredited. Produced by Samuel Goldwyn, cinematography Greg Toland, edited by Monica Collingwood, music by Hugo Friedhofer, production company Samuel Goldwyn Pictures, distributed by RKO Radio Pictures. Now it's got three release dates: November 25th, 1947 for the premiere, December 9th, 1947 for New York City, February 16th, 1948 for the United States. What? Runtime of 109 minutes. Under production, the film's production faced several difficulties. Producer Samuel Goldwyn replaced director William A. Sider with Henry Koster to create a completely new film. In early previews, audiences disliked the film, so Billy Wilder and Charles Brackett made uncredited rewrites. Though the premiere of The Bishop's Wife was acclaimed by critics as a success, the film did not initially perform well at the box office. Market research showed that moviegoers avoided the film because they thought it was religious. As a result, Goldwyn decided to retitle it Carrie and the Bishop's Wife for certain U.S. markets, while adding a black text box with the question, "Have you heard about Carrie and the Bishop's Wife?" on posters in markets where the film kept the original title. By adding Grant's first name to the title, the film's business increased by as much as 25%. This was nominated for 5 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Film Editing, Best Scoring of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture, and Best Sound Recording, which it won. That is pretty much all there is in the Wikipedia. I did have some notes when the movie started. So Monty Woolley is one of the actors in this as well, playing kind of a side character. And he's been in a few, he's sort of a character actor. He's been in a few other things. And when he came on screen, I was like, I thought this was his name. And maybe it is, but it's not what he goes by. I was like, oh, it's Montgomery Woolley. I was very formal. I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's Monty Woolley. But anyway, it amused myself. That's all that really matters. This one, unlike like Going My Way and the Bells of St. Mary's with Bing Crosby, religious tones to it because of the subject matter, but not overly religious and schmaltzy. And I really, really like this one. I gave this 4 stars. And a lot of it had to do with, David Niven, kind of a straight man, but he had some funny moments. Everybody was good in it. The wife was good. Loretta Young. But Cary Grant was just excellent in this movie. And I regret a little bit watching it because my wife loves Cary Grant. And I think her and my parents would have enjoyed watching this one, but I was kind of too far into it to go back. Not that I wouldn't watch it again, but probably not anytime soon. But Cary Grant's always charming and funny, but in a lot of his more comedic pictures, he is, especially with Katharine Hepburn, where they're doing, dialogue at a mile a minute and they're slapstick and everything. It was a much more subtle performance from him, but that kind of made it even more charming and it just worked really well. So I really, really like this one. And what was my other note here? Oh, so a couple of things I did, and this is kind of like with any movie like this, and I get it's the way it's written. It's not necessarily real life, but I feel like it's also a little bit real life. The person who is the believer in God and angels and miracles had the most trouble. I will say David Niven, he accepted it fairly quickly, but he wasn't sure. But, at first he dismisses him as crazy. It was basically all done in one scene. So it was a very brief thing. And he, again, doesn't necessarily accept that he's an angel. Cary Grant's an angel, but kind of goes along with it. But it's always the religious people that are like, well, no, you're not an angel. But then Monty Woolley, who is like a historian in this, his character, has some, interactions with Cary Grant, and Cary Grant basically gives him a bottle of sherry that never runs out and never gets you drunk, but you still get all the nice effects of sherry. And there's a moment later when he's talking to David Niven's character and he's like, something's off with him, like what's going on, and he's not human or whatever. And Niven, for the first time telling anybody, tells him he's an angel. And Monty Woolley just goes, too bad, because he's very much non-religious and was kind of disappointed that it was just that he was an angel, but he immediately accepts it. And partly because he sort of saw through, that there was something going on. But it was just funny to me that, the non-believer doesn't believe and the believer doesn't believe and the non-believer believed right away. And I do feel like there would be, maybe not in real life, maybe not belief, but acceptance would happen faster from a non-believer. Just a couple of quirky observations, I guess. So that's it. I mean, like I said, not much else to read in Wikipedia. Very good movie. So far, we got a 3.5 and a 4. And the average for 1947 right now is a 3.8. 1940s is a 3.4, and overall is a 3.2 for all years. So it's a good start to 1947 here. I got 3 more movies. Strangely enough, 2 of them, like Bishop's Wife, not Christmas necessarily, but takes place at Christmas. It's like Lethal Weapon versus Die Hard. And then Miracle on 34th Street is also nominated. So it's a Christmassy kind of year. All right, my voice is really going out, so I'm just going to leave it there. I will see you next time.